One of the most frequent thoughts that I have when it comes to training is this idea of, what if this doesn't work? What if this squat everyday business, this methodology is not the most effective? What if I stuck with Texas method? What if I jumped into 5-3-1 early in my career and stuck with that? The Juggernaut system, Smolov, Boris Shako. What if I tried some other philosophy rather than this? I remember the time that I read about squat every day, and I thought to myself, wow, what a brilliant idea. It's so intuitive to train like this. And from then on, it's been the most dominant thought in my mind when it comes to training. But quite often I think to myself, is there a more effective method out there? You watch all these different videos, different opinions of various different ideas, people talking about, and you think to yourself, wow, they make a really good point. They're selling this really well to me. Why don't I try 5-3-1? Why don't I try kind of the Western methodology of, less frequent training and just more volume, and then completely have days off for recovery. There's a degree of anxiety when it comes to training because the gains in this sport are so slow and are so long shot, so long distance, future-based goals that without you actually putting in a decent effort, a decent amount of time into something, you will never know if this works or it doesn't work. The fact is, this is reality. This is life. It's not a video game. For those of you that play video games, you understand that if you make a mistake, you just load the previous save game and you just go from there and you make the right decision from then on. And you can always kind of backtrack your choices and you can, perfect the journey that you want to take in the game. For some of you guys, if you've ever played the game Skyrim, pretty much that's the only game I've played on and off for the last 10 years whenever the game was released. That with FIFA. And what I've noticed about this game is that I've only finished the game once in 10 years. Most of the time what I do is I make a new character, I start the game, and then I don't know, a couple of hours in, I'm like, oh, I wonder what if I did this instead, and so I start one game with kind of like a rogue, kind of assassin, sneaky guy. Then I, get tired of that. Then I load up a mage, and then I load up start a new game with a warrior. And it's been a cycle for 10 years. I kind of like always kind of think to myself, oh, let me try this instead. I'm already bored of it. The fact is, you can't employ that type of strategy into weightlifting, into training, into anything really in real life, because you're not going to get the most of anything. Because the people that jump from program to program end up being the worst off because they've never really let any system do its thing. As in, does the Texas method produce more results? Maybe in some fantasy world I could save my life right now and start it up again and run Texas method all the way up to this point, and I could have a really sound kind of research comparison and work out what's what. The fact of the matter is, there's no way of knowing. The best thing we can do is commit to something that kind of rubs you up the right way, something that is intuitive to you. For me, squatting every day is very intuitive because of my background. I was a basketball player before this. The idea of practicing my skill every day was very early on instilled in me, because if you don't shoot every single day, if you don't practice your free throw shooting every single day, you're stuffing up, because there's guys in the world who are shooting 10,000 shots every single day, because it's a skill, and skills require practice. And so when I started training with weights, a completely different methodology was put upon me. Bro split. Every muscle once a week, never more. You have to let the muscle recover. And I thought, that's strange, but the big guy's telling me this is how it's done, so the big guy knows better. And that's how I did it. It's only a few years later that I kind of, by chance, discovered this squat everyday business, and Pavel Tsatsouline, and Ivan Abajev, and all these type of people. And I thought, shit, that's actually more intuitive to what basketball training was like. And so that's how I gravitated towards that. So I guess what I'm saying is, we don't all have to do the same thing, but whatever you do, it needs to be consistent with your kind of like moral code of what training is supposed to be like. If you feel like training should be more of a muscular expression, then maybe bro split is the thing for you. Maybe you just want to smash that muscle every single day and let it recover and smash it again. There's plenty of examples in the world to show you that actually works as well. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is there's many different pathways to your goal, but the path that you take, don't base it on somebody else's experience, base it on what you want your life to be like. For me, I never wanted to spend 4 hours, 3 hours in the gym, busting out like 50 different exercises and 50 different, sets and reps and whatever. I get bored of that. I like to concentrate on one skill or one movement, one compound, one quality movement, and just perfect that as best as I can. And then maybe do another exercise after that. But after that, I've lost interest, man. I've completely lost interest. Recently, I've done squatting, I've introduced RDLs, and then occasionally I do some bench pressing. By the time I get to the bench press, because it's usually bench press, lower body is always the first on the menu. By the time I get to the bench press, my mind is already kind of over it. I've lost interest. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do after the training. I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with the kids, with the wife. My mind is kind of racing away. But at the start of the training session, when I first come in, I'm thinking to myself, hip positioning, what's my ankles doing? How are my knees feeling? Are they cracking, popping too much? Is there any pinching sensations in the hip? Have I released the glute? Have I released the hamstring? Am I feeling good in this? So these are the things that I feel at the start of training sessions. At the end of the training sessions, I'm thinking about food. I'm thinking about what we're going to do for the rest of the day. I'm thinking about what's going to happen at work. Have I done everything for work? All that sort of stuff. So I have a really I'm thinking about work now, one-on-one patient, one-on-one specialing mentality. I like focusing on one patient and perfecting that patient and then moving on. I say that, but in reality, I work in the emergency department and there's 50 million patients. I enjoy that as well. But when it comes to training, I don't like thinking about too many things. I like to focus on the real quality of what I'm trying to do. I don't like fluff. Fluff for me is defined by exercises that, your bicep curls, your lateral raises for the shoulders, your hamstring curls, quad extensions, things of that nature, isolation movements. Going back to what I believe in, it rubs you up the wrong way because I don't believe the body should move like this. I don't think we should be isolating anything. I think we should be moving as a whole. We're one system. So that's basically it. Like I have these thoughts about, am I doing the right thing? Is this working? But then what draws me back to feeling good is this idea that, I have these experiences of my sporting career, and these experiences have kind of led me to believing in this philosophy of weight training, and I stick to it. Oftentimes I think to myself, what if I did 5-3-1? What if I did this? What if I did that? But you have to be disciplined, and a lot of you guys, I've had discussions with you guys about different routines, different people doing different things, and somebody might say, oh, but this person does it this way and they've gotten results. And then I would say, oh, but this person has done it this way and they've gotten results. And we get caught up in these kind of like, we talk past each other. It's almost like we're not getting to the point. It's kind of like, I don't know, man. This is getting a bit too deep for this video, but it's kind of like, you believe in God or not. There are millions of different religions, millions of different sects and divisions of every single religion. But at the end of the day, we believe that there's a God. And so what I'm trying to say is, I don't really care what religion you believe in. If it all leads to the same goal, then we're good. You do your one, squat. You squat once a week. I'll continue squatting every single day. And there's plenty of examples of people who have done really well with both. But even though I know all of these things, sometimes I have to talk to myself, like I'm talking to you guys right now, and basically remind myself that stay the journey, stay on the path, keep doing what you're doing. You've had some results. Don't worry if you did this, there could be more results, because it's a completely different ball game. Peeking over the fence and seeing if the grass is green on the other side is human nature. I often think to myself, what if I didn't do nursing? What if I became a mechanic? Because when I was a young lad, I wanted to do up cars. I wanted to work on cars. My parents never let me do that because it's a bad job or whatever. So I ended up going to uni and studying nursing. Nursing is a great career, without a doubt. It's brought many, many good things to me. But I always think to myself, what if I did that instead? How would my life be that way? So it's human nature to think that way. It's human nature that calls you to jump from program to program. It's very anti-intuitive, I guess, for somebody to see what I'm doing right now, 234 days in a row of squatting, and people must think, man, this guy's hard-headed. This guy is just as hard-headed as you can get, man, because he's stuck with this thing and he believes this is the best thing and he's missing out on gains. And you might be right, you might be wrong, I don't know. The conclusion I've come with all these things is that there's a lot of people, claiming all these different results with all these different exercises and all these different programs, but then you sprinkle a little bit of, performance-enhancing drugs, and the water all of a sudden is really, really murky, and we don't know what's what. So maybe the Soviets and the Bulgarians were the Soviets back then. Maybe the Eastern philosophy with this squatted every day bullshit, going to a max every day, only worked when you apply performance-enhancing drugs. Maybe I'm completely screwing myself over because I don't even take protein powder, I don't take creatine, I don't take jack shit. I just eat food that my family makes. Then I come in here and do my business, and that's how I view it. Maybe I'm completely messing up. Maybe if I did a bit more of a bodybuilding routine, it would be much more beneficial for me as a natural lifter. At the end of the day, it just doesn't really matter. Some people in the world get lucky and on day one start on the right thing because they have the right influences around them and they don't waste time. I'm 31 years old, and you could probably say that I've wasted a lot of time because I literally taught myself how to do everything. Along with YouTube, watching videos, and along with the internet, Googling stuff and, working out, what does this hurt, what does that hurt, how am I supposed to squat, what's low bar, what's high bar, what's the front squat. I'm self-taught, and I'm pretty sure that if I had somebody like Arvin Abadjev next door, he would hook me up with all the right stuff, and I would maybe skip 5 years of this messing about. I don't feel bad about that because I've learned a lot. I know that I'm very disciplined, and I have a lot of drive about me. When I put my mind onto something, I go for it, and that's a good quality that I've realized that about myself, that 200 and something 30 days of squatting every day takes a certain something. Even though the results might be shit, I squat it every single day, and that's good. And so if you are doing the Texas method or 5-3-1 or shaker or small or whatever the hell you're doing, stick with it, man. Just stick with it. Don't think what I'm doing is better. Don't think, what if this isn't working? Just stay the course and do it, because I truly believe at the end of the day, there's only one God or one goal of getting stronger, and there are many different pathways to it, and you just take it how you want to take it. The bodybuilders like looking like they're strong and like getting strong. Some guys like, staying as lean as possible, as small as possible, exhibiting the greatest strength, so they like to do this style of training. If you enjoy the journey, the goal will come. Just stay the course. These are some of the thoughts that I have in my mind. This is kind of me thinking out loud. This is what self-talk to me. Because oftentimes I think to myself, when am I going to stop this squat everyday business, man? Like, am I going to stop on 365 days? Am I going to continue doing this? And I just think to myself, are you enjoying this? Are you enjoying doing this? Are you enjoying squatting every day? And the answer is yes. Like, I really am. Like, I'm not looking forward to stopping. So I'm not going to just, lend myself to the thought of, I'll try 5-3-1 next, or I'm going to try Texas method next, or whatever the case might be. I'm just going to continue doing what I love doing, and continue to auto-regulate because it fits my shift work, my, I guess, hectic lifestyle, whatever that means. I don't do well with rigidity in programming. I like auto-regulation, and squatting every day allows me to do that. Your program might have these advantages or more, or other advantages. I guess what I'm trying to say is, take it from me and just stick with it. Don't worry about the grass on the other side of the fence. A lot of people have said, better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. Whether you believe in that or not, all I'm going to say about that is that pick a path in life and stick with it, and see where it takes you. I guess if you're doing a really rigid program, it's going to be hard for you to kind of auto-regulate. But no one said that you have to follow 5-3-1 or whatever. I keep saying 5-3-1 and Texas method. Maybe you can start tinkering with it to make it better for you, because you need to understand that some of these programs are cookie cutter programs. They are made for the general population, and it's not tailored made for you. So you know, I started off with the Bulgarian type of squat every day, where I touched a really heavy weight every single day. Now I'm doing kind of like some morphed thing that I like. I've got influenced by the Super Squats book that I read recently, and I'm like, damn man, that's a really cool thing. I'm gonna try doing some. I'm gonna try to do some high rep sets. Then I read a bit about Tom Platz. I thought, shit, that's all right. I'm still squatting every day, kind of the Bulgarians, but I'm not doing the Bulgarians. So yes, I'm squatting every day, but this is not Bulgarian anymore. In fact, this probably isn't Bulgarian light anymore at all, because it's just something different. So I guess if you're wondering about changing a program, you're probably thinking about you know, how do you express some sort of creativity in this sport? And I guess my answer to this is that, you know, I can express some creativity and you know, some unique touches with auto regulation and changing the program. I don't know if you started changing 5-3-1, if you could call that 5-3-1. Maybe what we need to do is plug some of the influences from various different programs onto one piece of paper and then make our own thing and see how you go. But anyway, this is a long journey. This is, you know, I doubt there is a perfect program out there. Whatever you do. So yeah, just me thinking out loud. Hope that makes sense. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have these thoughts about, oh man, should I be doing this? Should I be doing something else? I doubt I'm the only one thinking about these things, but the program that you're doing now, tell me what the program is right now, and tell me what you're thinking about doing next and why. That's really interesting to me. Why do you want to do that next program? Is it drastically different to what you're doing? Are you going from one extreme to another extreme? Let me know. I'd love to chat about that. Anyway, guys, catch you in the next one.